Hello everybody and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. We are on the Pools of Ilyis map for another 1v1. Today we have the Ubivator versus Ikreist, or Ikreist, I'll just stay with Ikreist. And looking down here in the red is Ikreist in question. Playing Cortex today in a kind of central position start here. Starting with only 2 metal points, is probably going to go into bots. Deciding not to start over here with a potential 3 metal points. This would take a little bit longer to get set up, but would give a pretty good position. Also, could have decided to go here, which would have given him the ability to build some tile in this pond, or to just kind of defend in a pretty safe way. Now, looking at the map, we have seen it before on the channel, so I'm just going to be brief. There is a carved path through here with metal extractors that can be placed. There's also a high ground metal point up there, and another one on here. Now there is a geo spot there, but I very rarely see a geo being built there, and we will see the player generally stop around that geo point, with the other player generally push up to this double metal point. Now as we make our way over to Ubivator, Ubivator has decided to play Armada today, has gone in the exact same start position, and has decided to go vehicles, which is an interesting choice considering how expensive vehicles are, and only running off of 2 metal points to begin with. He's going to have to expand very quickly to make this work and not be pressured over. As the scout starts making its way towards the center of the map, you can see here there are 2 additional metal points just outside of his start position, and as we go towards the center, there is 2 more on either hills, and then of course the the geo in the center. All this crystal can of course be eaten for energy, and there is obviously the big deep pools of water on the side that you can walk through, but it is extremely deep. We have seen players use this for tidal or for sneak attacks. And as the scout manages to make its way to the base of Ikreist, we will switch over to the normal camera. This scout will get picked off by all of those grunts. And here we are on the normal camera. Scout unable to really do anything as the grunts are positioning themselves very effectively to stop it. Although it may manage to just sneak past. Not sure if it will be able to kill this metal extractor in time. It is moving very, very closely to these grunts. Ubivator is going to have to try and dangerously micro it, but manages to get it to escape. Very good micro. It will run into a problem. There we go. Yep. Ikreist managing to stop it. These players, I'm pretty sure, have played against each other a multiple amount of times, so really they'll be aware of each other's plays. Now, an interesting choice from Ubivator here. We see a mine layer coming out, a very early mine layer, and he is building mines in some very peculiar places. Unable to finish the mine in time. Now, what will have happened, though, is Ikreist will have just received a notification saying mines detected. Now, what this may do is actually add a bit of psychological warfare here, as to Ikreist maybe a bit more passive with his attacking, because he thinks there's just going to be mines everywhere. I got a bit of a hiccup there. So we'll see how that plays into Ikreist's plan. The mine layer did get destroyed, so the question will be now if we see Ubivator deciding to build another one. He does have one queued up, actually quite a few queued up here. Now, one of the reasons he may be deciding to do this is due to the lack of, metal. Bots obviously, vehicles rather, require quite a lot of metal to build. So maybe his plan here is to build mines in places where he doesn't want to have to field units. Now, you can see here a big difference in cost-wise, as Ikreist has got 7 grunts, making their way down the center. There's only 4 blitzes there. The mine layer also just about to run in again and almost get killed. Mine layers aren't that expensive when it comes to metal. It can also be used for reclaim purposes. It has the ability to build, therefore it has the ability to reclaim as well, or it should do. No, it doesn't. It has the ability to repair, though. Also, another thing to note, if you're not aware, these are actually what's classed as stealthy, which means they don't show up in radar. Well, the LT does go up in time. Metal Extractor gets killed, but the Constructor will be safe. Able to get that metal point back up really quickly and get all of that metal. Now, one thing Ubivator does need to be careful of is fighting over where his mines are. He doesn't want to be losing too much. Ikreist, though, is expanding fairly well. You can see he's got a couple of grunts positioned at the top here just as a method to try and slow down Ubivator's expansion. He's got units down here as well. He is slowly expanding, as you can see here, with a Constructor, building some defenses as it goes. And we'll be getting that fairly quickly. Meanwhile, Ubivator, with this single Constructor here that is slowly going out, is about to get caught by this grunt. At the same time, he's only just starting to send a Constructor north, leaving the center pretty much completely abandoned. Ubivator now having to start moving his commander forward as well. Whereas Ikreist is already in the center with his commander. Surprisingly, the Constructor that was here seemed to bugger off and is now deciding to finally come back, but still not queuing up that metal point. Probably Ubivator's commander might do it as he walks past. There we go. Now, in theory, blitzes should work very well against grunts. These days, at least. And a lot of mines just been placed in random places, which is quite surprising. I mean, it makes sense. You don't want to make your mines, like, predictable. Otherwise, your opponent's just going to completely ignore them. It may force Ikreist to have to invest into a Juno in order to try and deal with them. Those guys managed to get caught. This Constructor did take some damage, but not enough to really write home about. Could be anyone's game right now. Ikreist is a bit concerned, as you can see, by where these mines are. You can see clearly a mine blew up here. It's probably what damaged this commander. The mine layer did get killed as well. Meanwhile, some LLTs are being built down here. I don't think he's going to be able to get any further, and there's potentially enough grunts here to push past that LLT. We'll see. In the center, Ikreist and Ubivator's comms very close together. Ubivator rushing down the LLT here. We'll get it built first. And full-blown tanks coming out from Ubivator here. And using the commander's build power here to just out-heal the damage of the LLT. Second LLT built gets taken out very quickly. Stout slowly losing health though, and the commander also getting focus fired by the LLT. Ubivator's comm is down to 63% health, but does manage to take full control of the high ground here. Ikreist comm just standing still, getting pounded from the high ground. And that's not what you would expect to hear in a Beyond All Reason video, that's for certain. A single Janus is slowly just marching away along the top. Has managed to clear out a decent amount. Not really that much of a threat though, so I think Ikreist is quite happy to just leave it there. What we can see, though, is a transition over to vehicles by Ikreist here. And also groups to match the stouts. Now, Janice's work pretty well when it comes to stout Janice combo. It's pretty hard to deal with. There are a couple of pounders in the mix here in an attempt to try and just delay that ball, force it to kind of get grouped up. Also, we see Ikreist sending most of his army to the south here in an attempt to try and put some pressure on at the bottom. My layer almost gets taken out yet again. Interesting LLT placements, though. Trying to just maintain some control of the high ground. Gets the radar, gets the bot, gets the mine rather, and gets the mine layer. And now that these guys have an avenue to get up here, Ubivator back down to where he began. And surprisingly, we see a group of whistlers, sorry, in the mix here. Air coming out from Ubivator. No bombers yet. It seems just a good mix of cons getting the energy. They will be able to get these high ground metal points. Also, the ability to build radars in positions that are not going to get killed. It's quite important. Both Ikreist and Ubivator, though, going full at it in the center here. Janices do very well against grouped up units, which is exactly what Ikreist has. Just sitting just on the edge of the LLT range, firing shots at each other. Neither player has any build turrets there to provide repair. And Ubivator is definitely winning this fight here. The Janus rockets just doing work. Ikreist, LLTs will not save you. He needs to be careful here. He might lose his commander. B-gun's going off in an attempt to try and save himself. You can just see how much damage a volley of Janus rockets does. Down to 60% health. I think, if I remember correctly, and I could be very much wrong, so feel free to correct me in the comments, but it only takes 7 Januses to insta-pop a commander. Like, if they all volley the commander, I think you can kill a commander from full health with 7 Januses. And so far, Ubivator has 3. And Ikreist is at half health. Meanwhile, Ikreist has some tanks up here, which he's now starting to send. We have a quick look at the two players' economy. We can see that Ubivator has spread out his economy quite a lot, has invested pretty much solely into energy, winds rather. He has built one advanced solar. He's about to build another one. He's building into a lot of gunships to try and deal with this push here. A lot of metal extractors will be killed now, though. If kind of surprised he didn't keep going anyway, just to get this one, but no. Kind of makes sense. Fighters coming in from Ikreist to deal with the gunships and the air constructor before that metal extractor was built. Now that the gunships are going to be dead, continuing this push with the tanks. Meanwhile, in the center, you can see Ubivator is just slowly creeping forward with the Januses. It wouldn't surprise me if we see one of two things from Ikreist. We're either going to see a second vehicle lab with scouts coming out to bait the Janus shots, or we're going to see Tech 2, maybe. This would maybe also be a very good time to go Tech 2. We've seen some good damage being dealt here by Ikreist in the main base of Ubivator. Getting some wins, although they are spread far enough apart that he doesn't really need to worry about it. No advanced solars killed, but a good amount of metal extractors destroyed. With the air cons, he is able to build it up pretty quickly again, but still, that's damage dealt, and that's all that matters. Oh, but what do we see? Nothing. No fighters, just more and more tanks from Ikreist. He does have a bunch of grunts and lashes for some reason in this corner, which have now been resolved. Ikreist is slowly building up an army. Ubivator, though, for some reason had a massive metal excess there, very momentarily. Looks like it was as he reclaimed the air factory. He didn't have the metal storage required and actually lost all of it as he went to Tech 2. That is a big mistake and will have cost him quite a bit. He is ahead when it comes to pretty much all avenues of numbers at the moment, except for energy production and army value. But that number will soon start moving as this Tech 2 gets built. So many build turrets as well. We're seeing 10 build turrets for Ubivator as we look over to Ikreist. 8. So a lot more build power on Ubivator's side. Fighters now being built by Ikreist here. A little busy. No, he doesn't really need them much anymore. Ikreist commander in a interesting position. It seems that he might prioritize a push along the bottom here. The dangerous part is if he does that, I mean, he can get some substantial damage and maybe hit the base. However, it does open up a path for Ubivator to just push straight through. The mines will delay Ikreist. No scout spam either to try and deal with the mines or the Janisses. Ikreist just ending up spreading out so much that he actually runs into every mine almost. And the tank and Janus force has moved around in order to stop this attack and leave the Geo intact. But still, this is some good damage. There is a radar here which is giving Ubivator tremendous vision. But all the Janus is fired their shots on a single tank there rather. Those Janus rockets used to track like a ridiculous amount. And luckily enough, they don't quite do that anymore. Now, Tech 2 units have started to make their way onto the field for Ubivator. We see Mausers making their way out, as well as some Jags. Mausers will help deal with the Tech 1 units, which we can see here. Ikreist has quite a lot of. No Tech 2 planned at all here for Ikreist, and surprisingly, a second air factory with bombers being planned. All vehicle production has stopped here for Ikreist. And the small tank force just slowly making its way around the top here. For some reason, double radar built here, which will get killed extremely quickly. Guard almost killing the Janus. Janus now attempted to get eaten and does. Ikreist positioning behind that Janus wreckage there in an attempt to defend and actually works out really well. Meanwhile, on the bottom, a constructor did get killed that was trying to build that twin guard, and that will pull Ikreist home, I believe. Oh, an LLT built up here takes out that radar and the metal extractor on the high ground. But as a console makes its way out, it's going to eat up all of that metal that was down there. And maybe build Tech 1 mexes. We're soon to find out. The bombing run, though, of Ikreist has started its approach. How much value will this bombing run be able to get? What is it targeting? Nothing yet. Fighters going in first. Now remember, Ubivator ate his air factory and has stopped all production of AA. Has now rushed out some shredders as the bombers make their way in. It looks like they're targeting the Tech 2 factory. get the Tech 2 factory. 2 flaks have already been built, though. How much value are these bombers now going to be able to get? Take out a huge chunk of wins, and it looks like the bombers are going to fall back now instead. Probably be used to target lone metal extractors. And having to rapidly rebuild the Tech 2 factory now, and also build a Tech 1 air. This is an opportunity for Ikreist to push in. No more units can be built in a very short time span. Not only that, but considering that Ubivator lost 1.5k metal early on and has now lost the factory and its wreck in its entirety. That's a lot of metal lost. Metal produced, though, between the two players is 60 to 45. So that is a lot of metal lost. These tanks do manage to make it into the base, though, getting some energy converters, which are currently not online. There is a lot of build power that may be able to get grabbed here, but there is a bull defending. These will not be able to get anything else, but shurikens, mass shurikens, make their way in, EMPing a lot of the defense in this central position. Ubivator rushing forces to try and defend here. Not really enough units from Ikreist. And this force will, I think, get defended as Bulls here with plenty of splash damage, and the Jaguars with AA here will shoot down the shurikens. Yeah, Ikreist having to fall back, and the AA also comes back online as well. And that has kind of donated quite a bit of metal to Ubivator. 2.6k metal. Also along the bottom we see Januses and some tanks slowly making their way around. It will slowly get rid of this. I think it's enough. I mean, I was saying that if they just sit inside of Twin Guard range, maybe not. First is aware, though. I just saw his mouse there for a moment. Oh, these few pounders have just slowly made their way in. And although they're very slow shooting, are able to take out 2 metal extractors. The ball will be there very shortly to deal with that. How far can they get? That's the question. Seems like he may be using this one to slow down the bull. No. Friendly fire, and does manage to get some wins. Still a decent amount of damage Ikreist has done to Ubivator. Ikreist combo on its own down here. There are some stouts nearby. He could just cloak walk D-gun those. I think that looks like what he might do. He does have vision of them. He knows they're there. Finally, Ikreist has gone Tech 2 with Tigers and a couple of Banishers in the mix. Oh, but Ikreist's comm is unable to chase down those stouts. And this is where it becomes a problem for Ikreist. He is well behind in all numbers. And now that Ubivator has mixed in plenty of Whistlers in the mix, it's going to be hard for Shurikens to have a big impact. Not only that, we can see a flak with this army here, as well as more Whistlers. If Ikreist can survive long enough to get a decent Tech 2 army, the damage is inflicted may be able to pay off, but hard to say as of yet. Still anyone's game. Ubivator doesn't really have enough grouped up units for a Tsar to be of use. Now this group here, though, could provide worry for Ikreist Commander. There is no radar, but there is a jammer. Ikreist is aware that these units are making their way up. He has not cloaked yet. This would be enough to take out the commander very quickly. Ikreist has to go for a cloak and is preparing to degun the army. He pulls off a bull. Great degun, manages to get a lot whole army gone, leaving just a single bull left, and Ikreist has managed to take out a big threat to him. Meanwhile, Tech 3 now coming out from Ubivator, even though he lost a whole Tech 2 factory, lost the metal of a air lab, and lost a huge amount of his energy production. He is still going strong. Not a single fusion has been built yet, and he's relying on this geo here to provide 1,250 energy. Not only that, but he's also starting to build this geo up here that won't last for very long due to this tank force making their way around. Tech 2 defenses have been built though. It might be difficult for Tech 1 units to push through. There's a console and a Tech 2 constructor there, of course. And yes, as Ikreist runs into the Tech 2 defenses and bulls, he realizes he needs to turn around and leg it. Ubivator already with 2 Razorbacks. Metal production difference is humongous now. Almost with double the amount of metal than his opponent. 67k to 114k. That is a big, big difference. There is a Tsar on the field, but little does he know that Razorbacks are on their way to him. And I don't think that Ikreist is in any shape or form in order to get his economy up to build Tech 3. Now, Ikreist has done great so far in this game. One thing he's struggled with is scaling his economy. He left it way too late to go into Tech 2. And the decision to delay the Tech 2 transition, I feel like may have cost him the game now. That window where Ubivator was going Tech 2 and he decided to stay on Tech 1 whilst Ubivator built up that Tech 2 economy, basically just gave him so much little metal production when you compare it to Ubivator. And you've basically got to make the most of it. And unfortunately, Ikreist was not able to make the most of it. And he's now paying the price as Ubivator's economy has massively outgrown Ikreist. And I think no amount of D-guns in the world is going to save him from the Tech 3 onslaught that is heading his way. And yeah, Ikreist realizing it's GG, pulls it.
Commander has self-destructed.
And there we go. So it's an example
Battle
there
ended.
Of well, deciding when to go Tech 2. This is why most players generally try to rush Tech 2 as soon as they hear their opponent's Tech 2, so that the economy difference doesn't, you know, add up so much. You can see here that when we're on metal produced, Ikreist just stayed on Tech 1 for such a long period of time, and you only just see a slight bump there as he's just starting to get Tech 2. But Ubivator went Tech 2 around here and just massively grew apart and just kept that scale going. Well, that's all for this one. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to do all that YouTube malarkey, and I will see you all next time.